What's up, Marvel fans? This is Stan Series, and in today's video, this is going to be a spoiler review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So, if you don't want to know the spoilers yet, please go and watch the film. I'll tell you now, it's awesome to watch, and then come back here to, hear the spoilers. Well, by then you know what happened, but anyway. But if you're one of those people who are not bothered to see the film and you want to know what happens, then you're going to enjoy this video. So let's get going then. So it starts off in 1980, and we jump to Earth when we see Peter Quill's mom and the younger Ego. And we see him in the forest, and the Ego shows Peter Quill's mom a plant, an alien plant. And first you might be wondering what it is, but we do get to know what it is later. That's later on in the film. Then next we jump to 34 years into the future. We jump to 2014. Really 2 months after Guardians 1 and a prequel to the other Marvel films that came out after it. And we see Star-Lord and his team on the planet where the Celestials, I believe that's what you call them. Well, the Ayesha's people, and what their job is, they got to protect these batteries from the big giant purple creature. And they do have a fight. They have a fight with it, and Groot, he puts some music on and he's dancing when the whole fight goes on. But it is really hilarious. Then we see Drax jumps inside the creature, but no damage happens. And then Rocket and Star-Lord had to try and kill the creature by the neck because he's got a cut. But then Gamora eventually does it with her sword and they kill it. Then the Guardians meet up with Ayesha, the leader of the Celestials, or I think that's what you call them. And she says thank you to them and all that. And then the Gamora says about, you said if we do this, you give us something. And they do. They give him Nebula, so they go off, and you see Rocket has stored the Aleta's people's batteries, and tells that to Drax, and so it's really hilarious. So when they're flying off and putting Nebula in chains, they realise that the species come after them in their ships, and then really a fight goes on, and the Guardians also find out that Rocket's got batteries. And we also find out that in those gunships, you find out that they actually the Celestials are not in the ships, they're just more controlled. So it's pretty awesome how that works. Then at one point you realise that, oh, they're going to be screwed, the Guardians are going to get killed. But no, Ego and Mantis come in time and save them, really. Then the Guardians ship crash onto a forest planet, and really an argument goes on. And then Ego and Mantis meet them up, and Ego tells Peter that I'm your dad. Then we jump to the snowy planet to meet the Ravagers. And Howard the Duck is in the film. He makes a cameo in that bit. And then next we jump to Yondu, and then he meets up with the Ravager, Starhawk. Well, in the comics he's not, but in this one he's a Ravager who's been played by Sylvester Stallone. They have an argument with it, and it doesn't end up good. And then Ayesha comes up to Yondu and says, I got a job for you, and he takes it. And then Taserface goes on about, I should be the leader because Yondu's not doing a good job. Then we jump out to the Guardians with Ego, and Ego talks to Peter about, about his mom and all that. Then the next morning, what happens is, the Guardians start to split up, so Gamora, Drax and Star-Lord go with Ego and Mantis, and Rocket, Groot and Nebula, well, they stay on the Guardian ship, and Rocket's repairing it, so that's what happens. Now, on the way to Ego's planet, Mantis explains to them about her powers and about her background a little bit. And then after that, really, we jump back to Rocket and Groot, and we see Rocket taking on the Ravagers, and it does end up funny, the fight is. Then we end up the bit when they circle around Rocket, and then Taserface starts saying, "White, it's time I become in charge. I'm gonna I should be the leader," and it doesn't end up good. So Rocket, Groot get taken, and Nebula, she betrays them and she shoots Yondu through the metal piece he has in his head, and she joins the Ravagers. Then we jump back to Star-Lord and the others, and they jump to Ego's planet, and Ego explains to them that Ego is still a planet. So how it works is, Ego started as a big brain, and then later on learned to create a planet of his own. Then later on he felt lonely and he thought there's got to be life out there, so he went out there and created a body for himself, you know, to walk on. Then he did find out about life, so he went to find other species, and on the way he meets Quill's mom, and then, you know, Peter Quill is born. And then we find out he's a Celestial. That's what he says. So Peter Quill is half Celestial. I know I might not be saying that right, but that's what he is. And then with it, Ego teases Peter how to use it, and it's really pretty fun. And Peter has like a throwing ball moment when he creates his ball, you know, like what father and son do. Meanwhile, on the Ravagers ship, we got Taserface torturing, well, Yondu and... Well, he's not really torturing them, but he's got them chained up. And to the Ravagers who don't want to join Taserface, he kills them. He chucks them off the ship. Now, James Gunn's brother, who's in the film, who's, you know, the second in command of Yondu's members, he's with Taserface, so he betrays Yondu. Now, and you also find out that Nebula joins them, and then she says, I want to borrow the ship so I can fight, because I know where they are, and I'm going to take them down. And then later on, we see Yondu and Rocky, they're stuck in a cell, and then Groot. Luckily, they tell Groot to get Yondu's big fin, and eventually he does, but he gets help from Yondu's second commander, you know, James Gunn's brother, and so he joins back with them. And then they take on all of them, and they get out of there. Now next, we jump back to the planet, and there's a moment when Mantis and Drax have a good moment, and Mantis was going to tell him something, but that got interrupted. Then we have a bit when Gamora and Starhawk have a dance. And then they have an argument, you know, saying about, I finally found my dad, and she's saying about, I thought you were already part of a family. Then next, Gamora gets attacked by Nebula, and they have a good fight and all that. But then everyone, and also Peter, they find out that actually Ego doesn't care about the species. He found them disgusting. So what really he did was he went to every planet, had, you know, sex with different species because he wanted to have a half, you know, he wanted a child who was like him, but the other children didn't have the power, so he killed them. And that was the reason why Yondu picked up Star-Lord, because apparently he asked Yondu to pick up the children. But because Yondu knew what was going on, when he came to Peter Quill, he said, no, I'm not going to take him to him. But then he tells Peter that the flowers were actually like a bomb device. So when he connects to the flowers with a newer one who's like Ego, that's Peter. And then the things will blow up. And then you find out that Ego actually killed Peter's mom. So he gave her cancer, and Peter really got angry about that. Really angry. Then all the Guardians meet up and they try to take on, Ego. And you actually do see Ego's face on the planet, and it's pretty cool. And then the Celestials jump into the fight as well. And Mantis tells the Guardians that if you destroy his core, he'll be dead. He's done for. The fight really ends up good, really. And we have a bit where Wacthers trying to explain to Baby Groot that the buttons and all that, you know, what was in the trailer. But he does get the bomb to the brain in the end. And then Peter, like in the part of the fight, he learns how to use these powers, you know, to the same powers that Ego's got, and he fights his dad. And then we got a funny moment that, the one bit, Ego uses the wax to make his big size form of himself, and then Peter uses the wax to create himself a Pac-Man. It's so funny. But then Ego does die, they destroy the planet, and the Celestials, their ships, they all get destroyed, even Ayesha's does as well. Then, with it, Peter Quill's dad dies, and then, part of it, Ego said to him that you are immortal, but he says, if you kill me, you lose that. So he would be like, he could age, so that happens. And then, sadly with Yondu. Yondu, in the end, sacrificed himself to save Peter Quill. He gives Peter Quill this thing to give him like a suit to survive in space, but Yondu, he sacrificed himself to save him. So then they have like a funeral for him, and Peter Quill goes on about what he was like and all that. Then we get to see all the Ravagers ships come in, and they give him like a proper funeral. And really, that's like the end of the film, really. Now, let's jump to the credits then. And there are 5 credit scenes, so let's go through them. So, first credit scene, we got James Gunn's brother in the film. I can't really remember his name and his character's name, but there's a moment he's got Yondu's fin and he's trying to use the arrow. But when he uses the arrow, he accidentally hits Drax on the arm, so then he walks away quickly. Second one, we see Starhawk, and he's reunited with the old Guardians team. That's what apparently they're saying in the film. And you see a female Starhawk. There's a guy who's on ice, who's covered with ice. I'm not fully on with their names, I'm sorry. There's one I do know. Anyway, you got the one guy, he's like, in the part of his first name, he's got the number 24 on there. Then there's this red creature, who apparently in another timeline, he's a sorcerer supreme. And then you got Malfunds. Well, let's say he's a character as a Warbot, and he's actually been voiced by Martinex. And then they go like, let's get back together and steal some shit. That's what he says, excuse me language. The middle scene is where Ayesha talks about, I'm going to create the nest of us, you know, the evolution of us. And you find out it's Adam Warlock. And she actually says, I'm going to call him Adam. And that bit is awesome. Then we jump to Star-Lord and Groot. But Groot is teenager Groot now. And he's playing the video games and his room's a mess. And Star-Lord has an argument with him about that. Then the last credit scene, and this was also in the film as well, we see the Watchers, the 3 Watchers, and Stan Lee, but I thought he was a Watcher, but no, he's actually some man in a spacesuit, and he's talking to them, and they find him boring, so they walk off. Now, before I go on, I do want to say some funny bits I want to mention. Now, one funny bit was in the film was when Rocket, Yondu, and Groot, and James Gunn's brother, they try to fly the ship to get to the Eagles planet. They jump through hybrid jump, and they had to go through a lot of planets, and their faces go funny. Oh, it's so funny. Drax laughing out loud when when Mantis says about to Star-Lord, you're in love with Gamora. That was so funny. And what was funny in the film? And I can't really remember and also that one, I'll put that one as my other funniest, as I said, about Star-Lord turning to Pac-Man. Now, also, I like to say, I like the twist with the film, So, in the end, it turns out that Ego is the main villain, and I had a funny feeling that he was, and looks like it happened. And I'll tell you now, it was so, so funny. And that's it, guys. So, if you want to know any news for upcoming films or shows or anything, please jump to my Marvel Facebook page. That's down in the description below. Leave a comment in the below in this video. And as I said before, I'm sorry if I have missed something from the film, but you can put that down in the comments. And also, if you want to say about what was your favourite scene, anything, your theories on the film, or anything really, what you saw in the film, put that in the comments so we can discuss about it. And also give it a thumbs up. Share this out to your friends so I can get more viewers and subscribers. And if you're new to this channel, I do Marvel and Transformers Cinematic Universe news. With it, I do trailer, TV spots, clip reactions, and I also do spoiler reviews when the films come out. Clips, when they tend to come out, I'll do them. TV spots, when it's like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the film, I'll attempt to watch those because they contain, a bit of spoilers really. And also, jump here for my last Marvel video. Here you can click to my channel and make sure you click the bell so you can be the very first ones to know when my new videos are out. And here, click on the Transformers video so you can see my last Transformers video. So that's it really, guys. I hope you enjoyed this spoiler review. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Peace.